YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Click the little notification button so that you can get notifications when I post a new video. Yeah, it's been a little while. This is long overdue. But I had posted this on my story a couple of weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, about doing a Q&A slash get to know me video. And you guys are gracious enough to send me some questions. So I compiled some of them and I will be answering those today. Okay. And the reason that I'm doing this is because, I don't know, I just kind of wanted you guys to kind of get a sense of who I am a little bit more. So I thought this was a cool way to do that. So before I start with the questions, I'll give you guys like just a brief intro about me. So as you guys know, my name is Claudine. I am 27 years young. I am Haitian American. I am from Jersey, but I currently live in Boston because I am a second-year PhD student out there. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. The main gist. So I'll jump into the questions. The first question that I have here, and I'm not answering them in any particular order, is what's your favorite food, Haitian and American? So, hold on one second. Sidebar, I got my booster shot yesterday, and I'm just feeling like some of the side effects, like the sore throat, like kind of like the cold / flu symptoms that you get when you get these vaccines. So I'm a little under the weather, but it's because I got my booster. But anyways, my favorite food, Haitian American. People that know me know that I like to eat. I can eat. I also work out too, and I'm trying to eat a little bit cleaner, but I can eat. I suck at favorites, but I will try to narrow it down. So my favorite, I'll start off with American. My favorite American food, I love wings. Like, I don't know, like, I just love wings. Like, I will go to a high-end restaurant and probably order wings, probably as an appetizer, probably. High-end restaurants be having the best wings. I don't know, I just love wings. Or like, if I'm hanging out with somebody, like, what do you want to eat? Wings and fries, call it a day. If I'm by myself and I just want to order food, the first option will probably be wings, unless I already had it that week. So wings is definitely one of my favorites. And I have probably an unhealthy obsession with chocolate. My favorite dessert is the Oreo Dream Extreme cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, and the chocolate devotion from Cold Stone, except I replaced the chocolate chips with Oreos. I don't know, I just love chocolate, and I like my mint chocolate too. Yes. So next question, oh, that was American. Haitian food. I don't know if I could narrow it down to one Haitian food. Like, I used to love chocolate growing up. That was like my favorite Haitian food. Now, I guess it would probably be a meal. So if I could have my favorite Haitian meal right now, it probably would be diapois. So rice and beans. I like the one that has like the coconut flavor in it. So from First Republic, one of my favorite restaurants, I like their rice recipe, their diapois recipe. What else? Tasso, so fried goat. I also like pickles, which is, what are pickles? Our version of like seasoned spices. And like banandus, which would be sweet plantain. But the Haitian way, I like the way we make it. That would probably be like my ideal meal in this moment, but I don't know if I could narrow down to one Haitian food. I like probably almost everything. The only things that like I don't eat are I don't eat shrimp, lobster, and pork, and that's because I'm Seventh-day Adventist. Okay. All right, next question. What is one thing that you would like to accomplish in 2022? That's a tough question. I don't think I can narrow it down to one thing. So I'm pretty ambitious. I would probably say I'm a goal-getter because I think anyone that's pursuing their PhD is probably super ambitious, but I like doing content. I sing on the side. Well, I sing for fun. And I just take on like a whole bunch of projects. So it's hard for me to narrow this down to one thing, but I'll just talk about like my big overarching goals for 2022. So the first one is to pass my qualifying exam. So I'm in the second year of my PhD program, which is in health services research / public health. And yes, as I was saying, I am a goal-getter. I'm pretty ambitious. So I'm in the second year of my PhD program, and the way that my program works, the first 2 years is coursework, and then we take our qualifying exam, and that determines if you will become a PhD candidate. From there, I'll start working on my dissertation. So this exam is pretty big. So that's one of my overarching goals right now. Another goal that I had was to get back into content creation because it's something that I enjoy, which I kind of started doing before the new year, and I'm happy about that. What is another goal for 2022? This is pretty abstract, but one thing that I've been telling myself is to remain open for the blessings that I'm going to receive this year. Just keeping like an open mind and making room for those things. A goal of mine, which is always a goal of mine, is to get closer to God, strengthen my relationship with Him, and continue to grow and be my best self. I'm probably missing a couple of things, but I think those are the main goals. The next question is, what is your greatest strength? What is your greatest strength and fear? Okay, I think these two kind of go hand in hand. So as I told you guys, I'm a goal-getter. I'm pretty ambitious. And I think that's a goal of mine. I am able to do a good amount of things. And I'm grateful for that. And if I set my mind to something, I'm going to get it done. That's like one of my mottos, like it's gonna get done. So then I think that plays into my greatest fear, which is probably not being successful by the ways that I define success. So that probably is why I am a goal-getter, which plays into my greatest strength. I hope that makes sense. Ooh, I like this question. So what are your favorite hair products? So my hair is in like these butterfly locks right now, because I need a protective style. But when my hair is in its fro / natural state, my go-to products, if you watch my videos, I love my Dax pomade. It's actually right here. My Dax pomade, this is my go-to. I will always include it pretty much in all of my hairstyles. And my raw African shea butter. Those are my go-tos, and then I usually style with water, warm water, to get my desired look. When I was exploring with other products, I used to use Mile Organics, their honey pomegranate line. I liked their curling smoothie. I think there's something custard in their leave-in condition, or defined twist, something like that. But everything from that line I really liked, and I used to use all three of those products together. And my twist outs used to come out so bomb. Right now I feel like my hair is kind of going through like a growth plateau, or maybe even I feel like I recently lost some hair, probably just due to over manipulation and not paying attention to my ends enough. So I feel like when that's happening, or just in general, it's best to stick to like simple products that you know work on your hair. So that's why I like the raw African shea butter and the Dax pomade grease. But I'm excited probably like over the summer to like go back to Mile Organics and explore again. And I also like for wash days, I use the Carol's Daughter Black Vanilla line. I love their shampoo and conditioner. I feel like it leaves my hair still feeling like moisturized, or not moisturized, hydrated, which is not always common after washing my hair. By the way, I have 4C low porosity hair, which is something to say the least. It is something, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, next question is, what inspires you? That's a loaded question. I think I garner inspiration from a lot of things. I'm inspired by my grandmother. She just was an amazing woman. Like absolutely phenomenal. The reason I say that, she had 11 kids, and my grandfather had 11 other kids. And like she just did a pretty good job of making sure that like all of her kids were successful by their own merit and came over to the US and did phenomenal things. And I'm a product of that. So I'm grateful to her for that. And just inspired by her. I'm also super inspired by my dad. He's amazing. He came over to this country with English as a second language and was able to like work his way up, become like an entrepreneur, and also got his master's in business. I think his route of education is probably why I always knew and thought that I would pursue higher education, because I saw him do it. And I feel like, I don't know, this might be a me thing, but I feel like ideally a parent's job is to, you know, do the best that they can and pass the baton. And we're supposed to like even exceed however far they went. So yeah, I'm super inspired by him. I'm also inspired by my mom. She's also amazing. She does everything. She works full time. She takes care of the house. She's just like a superwoman. I don't know how she does it, to be honest. And I'm inspired by my sister. My sister has sickle cell anemia. She's like 7 years older than me, and she's definitely the reason why I'm in the field that I'm in. Like, I knew I always wanted to go into the healthcare field, just from like constantly seeing her in the hospital and spending a lot of time in the hospital with her. And she's just amazing. Like, anyone who knows her like loves her. What else am I inspired by? I'm also inspired by like my friends and family as well. So those are some of my inspirations. Oh, we're already at the second to last question. Cool. So this question, it's a 3-pronged question. It says, what is your favorite book, song, and movie? I suck at favorites. Favorite book. I like a lot of books. But my favorite right now that I read last year is The 4 Agreements. Such a great book. I recommend everyone read it. What are the 4 agreements? I think it's, I always forget the first one. But one of them is always do your best. I think that's the last one. Another one is don't make assumptions. That's important. And don't take anything personally. I have that written like 2 places in my apartment because I need to remember not to take things personally. Like, the way that people react and do things, like relationally, the way that people move have more so to do with them than it has to do with me. And that's important to remember. So I like that agreement a lot. Another book that I genuinely loved was The Ways of a Superior Man by David Data. Great book. What is it about? It just talks about the ways that men can be their best selves. It acknowledges a lot of points about male character and the things that they go through from their perspective. It also talks about like feminine poles, masculine poles, and a mixture of both, like the balanced one. I think it's a great book for every man and woman to read. Me personally, obviously I'm a Black woman, so I'm very, and I'm also involved in like my community and such. So a Haitian Black woman at that. I'm definitely pro woman. But I also I'm pro men as well. So I like to hear different perspectives, the male perspective. I think that's important, especially like as I'm in the dating pool. I want to marry a Black man. I might have a Black son. I have a Black father. I have Black cousins. Black. Wow. I just love being Black. I mean, I have male cousins and I have my father is a male and my brother is a male. Basically, I have men in my life. That's what I meant to say there. Wow. It's a little late. So I think it's important to also hear, as women, to hear the male perspective in things. Yeah. What is my favorite song? That is hard because I like a lot of songs. But I guess I'll go by like genres. My favorite gospel song right now is Dependable God. It's just an amazing song. I heard it a little while ago on social media, and then one of my friends sent it to me. Shout out to friends that send you music, because that's just a love language. Yeah, my favorite compa song. Compa is Haitian music, well, like our main genre of music. And my favorite compa song is Vinim Palo Chéri by Black Parents. That song was my favorite when I didn't even really fully understand the words. I like that song when I was probably too young. My favorite movie, that's hard. I like a lot of movies. But I don't know. My basics, I like the basic movies. So I genuinely love the Titanic. Like, if it's on the TV, I'm going to watch it if it's playing. I like The Notebook. I like Love and Basketball, like the typical favorite movies. But my all-time favorites, The Best Man. I remember loving that movie when also I probably was too young to be watching that movie. The Best Man is definitely one of my favorites. And Queen and Slim. I've seen it 3 times. I honestly don't think I could watch it again because it breaks my heart. Like the ending just breaks my heart. But that definitely is one of my favorite movies. To go more into my movie taste, I guess, I'll just tell you guys the last few movies that I've seen. So I watched King Richard, the Venus and Serena movie, and I watched it with my dad, and it was super cool because Venus's dad used to call her Junior, and my dad calls me Junior, so I felt super special. I also recently saw If Beale Street Could Talk again. I think it's based off of one of Langston Hughes' books. I think that's a really good Black movie. What's another movie that I recently saw? I recently saw the Billie Holiday biopic, the Hulu version or the HBO Max one. Super good. And then I also recently saw Spider-Man, so I am a Marvel fan, and if you're a Marvel fan, you know what it is. But even if you're not a Marvel fan, this Spider-Man was pretty good. It was nice how it brought you through. I don't want to spoil it, but it brought you through the history of Spider-Man. Yeah, so that's a little bit of my movie taste. The last question is a tough one. I purposely saved this one for last. Yeah. I hope I don't go on a tangent trying to answer this. So it says, how do you show up for yourself as well as show up for your friends and family without feeling like you're spreading yourself thin? It's hard. That's what I'll say. This is super difficult to be able to achieve. I don't know if it'll ever be perfect for anyone. Yeah, I think this is a super cool question because I think a lot of people look at me like I have it all together. And for the most part, like I do have a pretty good head on my shoulders and I think I maintain pretty well. But sometimes I'll be all over the place. Like someone had said to me like the other day, you do so much, but you carry it so well. And I'm like, sometimes I'd be like, not okay. But for this question, so I like the way this question was worded because it says, how do you show up for yourself as well as show up for your friends and family without feeling like you're spreading yourself thin? So the reason why I like the positionality of this question is because the answer to this, first and foremost, is that you have to show up for yourself. You can't do anything if you don't show up for yourself. You can't show up for your friends and family if you don't show up for yourself. If you're not showing up for yourself, then you'll likely be spreading yourself thin. So the short-winded answer of this, I actually had some time to think about this. I boiled it down to a couple of words. Priorities, boundaries, discipline, time management. Yeah. Whew. I will be straight up with y'all. I definitely had, I had therapy yesterday, and this is something that came up. I need to work on my prioritization. So priorities is something that I'm working on. Oh, and the other word was balance. Yeah. Boundaries, I think I have down packed. So yeah, you have to prioritize what's important and how much time you're going to devote to it. You have to have boundaries because you have to show up for yourself first before you can show up for anyone else. So that in doing that, you have to establish boundaries. And I think that boundaries can be seen as a negative thing sometimes, but it's a great thing. It's the way that you keep the people that you care about in your life in a healthy way. And then once you're able to have a good sense of prioritization and boundaries, everything else falls in line. But I think discipline is important, especially when it comes to showing up for yourself. The balance will naturally happen. In time management, which also works out well when you know what your priorities are. So that's my short-winded answer. Now for the long-winded. Hopefully this isn't a tangent. But so in 2018, I was getting my master's at NYU. I live in Central Jersey, mind you. My parents live in Central Jersey, so my commute was 2.5 hours one way. So that was 5 hours of commuting. I was getting my master's full-time. I was working for the first time. Well, I had worked small retail jobs. It was my first, I guess you could say, big girl job, doing research at NYU. Going to school full time. I also had a leadership position in my church. I had a lot of familial responsibilities. I was in a relationship at the time. Everything just felt like too much. I was in a meeting one day, and thankfully I had a Black boss, and I broke down. And she kind of just hugged me, We danced together, and then we had like a follow-up meeting where she was just like, she laid out everything that I had going on. So the main things I just told you about. She was like, something's got to give. And it was interesting because she had put down like my relationship in that box. And she's like, well, that's not going to change. Little did we both know that was like one of the first things that changed. Not for any reason. Like, I would say overall, it was a good relationship. I was just going through a growth journey, and unfortunately that relationship couldn't come along with me on that journey. Yeah, but making that decision to end that relationship definitely started to spark some growth. Around that time, I started reading a lot of self-help books, and the 2 books that I read, which I recommend reading if you're going through any type of healing journey, or if you just like reading self-help books, was You're a Badass by Jensen Chetto, and I Am That Girl. I forgot the name of the author. Great books. I Am That Girl. There was something that the author said in the book that has stuck with me. She said that she would often look at herself in the mirror and tell herself, I love you and I'm going to take care of you. The mind, heart, soul, mental, emotional, I think some of those words mean the same thing. Connection, when you say that to yourself, when I tell you, it's made such a difference in my life. The reason why I say that is because it just reminds me of like, this is my vessel. She is me, I am her, and it's my priority to take care of me, and I will do that. So I recommend those 2 books. And then what else happened around that time? Soon thereafter, I started therapy. I love my therapist. She's like family. I recommend therapy to everyone across all walks of life at some point in life. It's just really good to talk to someone else who is a licensed professional about how you're coping and managing through life. Even if you think everything's okay, I think everyone should go to therapy. That's my opinion. What else? And there's a reason why I'm talking about these things that I started doing in 2018. A couple of other things, like paying attention to the small details of the way that I talk to myself, the way that I treat myself. Definitely started uptaking the gym and like my health and fitness more so as a priority. As far as social media, sometimes taking breaks on social media. There's 3 pages that I loved, but for me personally, this may not work for you, but for me personally, I unfollowed them because I just think that some of the messages just weren't healthy on my mind. So I unfollowed the Shade Room, Justin LeBoy, and Niggas Be Broke, okay? Cool pages, but I think that for the journey I was on, it just wasn't good for my best mental and highest self. I say that to say, like, it's okay to unfollow some pages that maybe you like, but maybe aren't making you feel so good after you like binge them all the time. What else? Yeah, those are some of the ways that I started to pour into myself. And one thing too, in 2018, when I started going on this growth journey, was I started establishing boundaries. Those boundaries look like saying no to my family sometimes. And if you know me, I'm very family oriented. So that was hard, but it was something I needed to do. And this might sound wrong or off, but it makes sense to me. Sometimes you won't be able to show up for others because you have to show up for yourself, and that's okay. And people may call you selfish for that, and that's also okay. But always remember that you can't pour from an empty cup. Now, with saying that, that doesn't mean like ignore the people that you care about. I think it's about finding a balance and prioritizing, like, who are the people in your life that, you know, you kind of have to show up for, or what are the ways that you can kindly let them know, I love you, but right now I have to handle this priority in my life, and vice versa. But prioritizing, because if you don't prioritize, important things can fall through the cracks, and that's not always the best. And as far as like, I'd like to say I've grown a lot, which I have, I still make mistakes. And that will happen. But the reason why I went on that like small tangent to talk about the growth journey that started in 2018 is because now in 2022, some of those small seeds that I planted back then, like some of the points that I read in You're a Badass or I Am That Girl, I'm starting to see come into fruition in like my heart, mind, and soul in small little ways. And I see how it's making me more into the person that I wanted to be in 2018 when I did those things. So I say that to say sometimes it may seem like you're so far away or like, how is this gonna work or all of that, but like start now, and you may not see the changes that you want to see today. You may not see them tomorrow, but it will come into fruition. And sometimes you will start to see certain changes like almost immediately when you actually make that decision. So first, by showing up for yourself, because that makes you feel whole, and then prioritize how do you want to show up for your friends and family, and what's important, which relationships are super important, and which ones maybe require like a phone call once a month. That happens sometimes. And by able to prioritize and manage those relationships and manage yourself, it helps you from like not spreading yourself thin. And all that advice that I just gave, I sometimes feel like I'm spreading myself thin. But I do try to be more present, especially when it comes to spending time with people that I care about. So like putting my phone away and just trying to be super present and recognizing those moments where it will be super beneficial for you to be absolutely present. That was super long, but hopefully something that I said made sense and like clicked for whoever needed to hear the answer to that question. Yeah, that concludes everything. Thank you so much for watching. I have some cool videos for you guys to look forward to. I have an Amazon workout sets try on haul that was also requested. That will be posted pretty soon. I also did a reel with that, and I think I'm gonna also post a makeup reel. So look forward to that. If you're not already, subscribe to my channel here. If you like this video, like it, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment. If you want to see more videos like this, more questions, feel free to let me know. I'm open to it. And also follow me on Instagram, Claudine_Elle, so you can see some content like this as well. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.